she wakes up early, she's on the go, chasing dreams, she runs the show. Suit and heels, she's ready to fight. In the boardroom, she's dynamite. Power moves, she's got the flair. Breaks the mold, she's everywhere. Glass ceiling shatter with her stride.
Hello, everybody. It's Becky Mossbrucker here with the Stronger Together Tribe podcast. And this evening, we're going to be talking to Stacey Johnson. So, Stacey, first of all, thank you for being on. And second, introduce yourself and tell us the name of your company and what you do.
Yes. Thank you, Becky, for having me. I am Stacey Johnson, and I am the owner of Stacey Johnson Coaching and the founder of the Thrive Beyond Anxiety Coaching Program, which is a premier 90-day coaching program for working women that are stressed and burnt out.
So, remind me, what part of the United States do you live in?
I live in Ohio, and my coaching program is virtual. So
that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Oh, I see anywhere.
Perfect. Because I thought, I don't think you're on the East Coast, but I couldn't remember where you were. I grew up around Indianapolis, so I'm very familiar where Ohio is. I'm not sure what part of Ohio you're in, but it's funny because having lived in Virginia for 25 years, I like the seasons here, but I do miss the snow. I wish we had some more. We hardly get any ever anymore. It's sad for me anyway.
Yes. I live near the lake, so I get a lot.
Oh, I bet you do. I know 1978, we had a snow blizzard so much that we could not get our front door open.
That is the blizzard that everybody likes to talk about here is the 1978 blizzard.
Yep. That's when my mother said, honey, we're moving back to Florida. And we did. As soon as I graduated high school, she gave me 2 or 3 weeks to say goodbye to my friends, and we were gone. Never been back. I'm like, oh my goodness. That did it for her. She was like, yep, not happening. So what made you want to start a business? And then we'll ask about your why you decided to do a women's coaching business.
Yeah, so I've been a clinical therapist for 25 years, and I was working in an alternative school for special needs children. And about 20 years in, I had enough. I was tired of always being, I was a supervisor as well. So we were short staff. After COVID, we never seemed to have enough staff. And specifically like in our transportation department. So my last 2 years, I would drive a van in the morning to pick up kids, then be the supervisor and therapist for the day, and then drive kids home. So my day was longer than usual. And I was just getting to the point where I was stressed. I had already been pretty stressed in my own life like 15 years ago. And I had made some changes to how I was handling stress and incorporated more self-care. And I didn't want to go back there. My husband had passed away in 2021. Sorry. Thank you. And, after 2 years of working there, or a year after working there, after he had passed, or a year and a half, I decided it was enough. Like I could not handle anymore. And I wanted to be available for my family. So decided to resign and start my coaching program.
Sometimes I think we as women start businesses out of tragedy or something negative that happened. So, I didn't have a tragedy in my life when I started my business, but something very negative that started out, I thought was going to be positive. Started out good and then it went bad. And the company that I was working with, we just weren't seeing eye to eye anymore. And I was like, I am going out on my own. I don't need you guys. And had all my ducks in a row because that's what I had to do to work for this company. And I was like, I already had everything laid out for me. It was just me scared to go out on my own.
Right.
And, I did not feel like I had the support behind me with some people in my family. So it was just me. And I tried a few things, joined a few networking groups, and, met a lot of people locally and joined my Chamber of Commerce board. So now I'm on the board, and, so I get around, and now people recognize me and they go, oh, you're that lady that does. Yeah, that's me. So it's been fun. Now I can say on this end, this side of it now, it's been fun. The first 3 or 4 years, I loved doing what I was doing, but all of the headache of going out on your own while you're still working a full-time job, which I still am, but hopefully won't be in the next year or two. Um, it was stressful. I
Right.
could have used you 5 years ago. I wasn't sure that I was going to make it, and had a lot of people being very negative about what I was trying to do, and that feeds in here so bad.
Right.
It's hard to
Yes.
see anything positive out of it.
Yes. A
So
lot of times those thoughts that other people say get ingrained in our subconscious, and then they can get triggered by something small, and then we start to believe it as well.
I
And
was just going to
so
ask you that. So how do you tell women to deal with the negativity if you're trying to start your own business?
a lot of times, because that becomes our overthinking. So I will help my clients, look at what is based on facts and what is based on things that, other people have said, and it's become ingrained in their subconscious. And we look at how we can change the words that we hear in our head so
Oh,
that we
nice.
can believe ourselves and make more confident decisions and feel more confident about ourselves.
Oh, that's great, because I know, the whole, what is it, 2 steps forward, 1 step back is a real thing.
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
feel like you're
It is.
making headway, and then something hits you in the face and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. But I think you're right. I think it all kind of depends on how we handle that stress, right? So, this situation that I had, I really felt defeated, and like I cannot even try to go on there's no way. I don't know. I don't have any business sense. I don't know any of this stuff. And luckily for me, I found a mentor through the Small Business Association, and they, worked with me, and it was all free, and I didn't have to pay for anything. We had several meetings, and they really built my confidence up. And then some of my girlfriends were, behind me. And so that helped me. And my mom, of course, in her 80s is behind me, like, go, Becky, go. And I thought
Yeah,
that was funny. So
it is very
um,
helpful to have supportive people around us that, you know,
absolutely. I think it's interesting when you have people who are not in the business, or, don't have their own business. It's different when they say, yes, do this, go do, whatever. They don't quite understand what all goes on, owning your own business. So when another woman who has a business says, yes, you're doing the right thing, then I feel even better, because they know the struggles that I go through. And
right.
I know one Sunday at my church, I don't remember how long ago it's been, probably, I don't know, maybe 8 months or so ago. And I was walking past my pastor. He stopped, and he sees me on Facebook all the time, and he was like, how are you doing with your business stuff? And I'm like, it was just one of those days where I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if I should keep doing this. I don't feel like I'm making an impact. I don't feel like people are listening, just kind of down on myself. And he got right up in front of me, and he was like, don't you ever stop. And I was like, yes, sir. And that is what I needed. I needed that kick in the butt to keep doing what I'm doing. And he was like, people see you, people hear you. And I know, that you know that, but it's validating when somebody else sees it and they're like, don't ever stop. Don't give up on yourself and don't give up on this job. And I'm like, holy cow. Okay. All right. So,
Right. Right.
and I try very hard, especially on social media, not just Facebook, but Instagram and everywhere, not to say anything negative because it's not that I don't want people to think I'm human. I want to be I'm usually a very positive person and I want to portray that in my messages, because if you're a Debbie Downer all the time, nobody's going to want to work with you.
Well, energy is, we feel other people's energy. And so you're right. I mean, if we're more negative and if the people around us are more negative. So, I mean, when you have that positive, you go get them, then that's the energy that you're feeling. And that also gives you the those are the messages that you can start to replace instead of the negative ones, is also messages that you hear not currently that are positive.
Do you listen to, or have you ever listened to Jack Canfield?
Yes.
Do you like him?
I've listened. I'm not a huge, during my time when I'm trying to do work myself, I put on like more soothing music. And so sometimes I'll catch a podcast here and there, like as I'm prepping for dinner or things like that. So I'm not a consistent podcast listener, which I need to be more consistent at listening to some, especially women in the field that I'm in.
Yes, because I think that, like you said, the more people that can give you uplifting, positive messages, the more it fuels your fire to keep going. And he is a big proponent of entrepreneurs, male and female. And he has a lot of, like 10-minute YouTube podcasts where they're just like a certain topic. And then it's like almost like a sermon, the top 3 things you should know about this. And he's really good. I've listened to him for a few years now, and I'm like off, and now I'm not listening as much as I used to, but I think it's helpful when we have, like you said, somebody positive talking, at least in one ear, so you don't feel like, you're on this island by yourself. And that's one reason why I do like Facebook. There's a lot of reasons why Facebook is a pain in the rear. But when you have other female entrepreneurs that you can reach out to and that you would never have met any other way,
Right.
and, talk about your business or how you're feeling or whatever, I think that's great, because I would never have met some of the women from Canada that have been on my podcast. There was one lady that traveled all over the world. I mean, not even just the US. And I forgot where she was when she did a podcast with me, but it was hot because she was getting hot. I would never meet these people anywhere else,
Right. Yes.
And we need that
I mean,
positive energy.
Yes. Yes. I've enjoyed Facebook for that purpose too, because, my clients that have come into my coaching program, I wouldn't have found any other way, because they did come from other groups in Facebook, and yeah, they were nowhere near me. So yeah, I really enjoy Facebook for that purpose as well.
I have a group outside of Facebook that's through Mighty Networks, and it's a paid platform. So, have people who are part of the Stronger Together tribe that pay to go to the other group. And I like that too, because then you're out of all the noise, you're out of all the instant messages and all the TikTok videos that people share and Instagram stuff, like all that, it's gone. It's just us.
Right.
And so, there's a place for Facebook and stuff like that. And then there's a place for the quieter places where you can actually talk and teach and learn. And so do you use a platform like that, or do you do all of your coaching through Zoom or something like that?
Do all my coaching through Zoom. So the clients that are into my program get a Zoom link, and we meet via Zoom. And they get currently they have the educational modules that they're provided. They get 12 weeks of educational modules that they can kind of do at their own pace, and it's recorded, and they get those through Google Drive currently.
I was going to ask you what platform you use for your courses, because I've looked at a couple of different places to hold my courses and I haven't really found what I want or that I want to pay for, to the
Right.
price that people want to charge. I'm like, I'm just not doing that yet.
Right. Yes. So I created all of my slides through Canva, and then recorded through Vimeo.
Okay.
And then I downloaded them to my computer and then uploaded them up to Google Drive. So then I send my clients access to the coursework through Google Drive. I send them a couple weeks at a time.
Okay.
So that they're not overwhelmed. Yeah, as they're working through some of these stress things, and it gives them time to process it, do the homework assignment, and then I give them a few more weeks worth, and then they get the group coaching calls to reflect on what they're learning, or if there's something else that happened during the day that they want to kind of process and get coached on, they can bring that to the call as well.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. So do you do your coaching calls like once a week with this
Currently
program?
it's once a week. It's once a week, and I have I've already decided that when I get to a point where the group numbers are a little high and I feel like people are maybe feeling rushed through the one call, I will add a second call.
Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes I go back and forth on doing group coaching calls. I've done a few, but I just feel like sometimes I think people want more individual time, one-on-one kind of thing. So I haven't really pushed the group coaching calls, but I'm hoping to do that in 2025, get that out there a little bit more, find a topic that, people are really interested in and hone in on that. Because I've got lots of topics. That's a problem.
Yes. So the one benefit of group coaching is that some of my clients have already been through individual counseling, and they like the idea of a group because they can bounce, they get ideas from other women, just because I say, manage, overthinking this way, and I give them a suggestion. One client that came back and says, well, I tried it this way and I really liked it this way. And the other client was like, oh, I'm going to try that. So they get ideas from other people as well as my perspective. And they have the option of, if clients pay up front, they have the bonus of 4 30-minute individual coaching calls with me.
Oh, nice.
So they do have that option of having both, and if they didn't opt in for the paying in full, and if they wanted to add an individual, they can add it for an additional, price it later on in the call, if they later on in the group program, if they decide that they wanted a one-on-one.
Gotcha. I can see where a lot of people would find that very beneficial, especially, being in a group setting and then wanting to hone in exactly on what they're doing or feeling or whatever. I can see where they would want more individualized attention. That would make sense. So how long have you been doing this business? Since 2021?
No, I started about a year and a half ago. I started my program. Yes, I resigned in June of 2023, and from my school position, and started doing more telehealth and some other individual counseling in a wellness center near me. And I added the coaching as my own business.
Oh, that's a great idea to do the therapy at another facility
It was another way for me to have income as my coaching got started, because like
Right.
you shared, starting a business can be hard. And with me being the only income in our home, I needed to make sure that I was bringing in something as I was starting my business.
Yeah, I'm still working full time and I'm like, I want to retire.
Right. Right. I
I've
love
been,
coaching compared to therapy. I truly
I
do.
was just going to ask you that.
I see the transformation a lot more with coaching than I did with therapy. I think therapy, they come in when they're feeling at a crisis, and then they will end. Sometimes my clients will end therapy without really me guiding them toward that ending point because they're feeling better. So I think they are like, I'm feeling better, so I'm not going to continue to go. And coaching, they've invested the time and the money so far, and they know it's only a 90-day program. So they stick it out. And the transformation that I see has been amazing. And it provides me to teach a little bit more than just do therapy. And then I'm guiding them toward future, like changing now and the future, and not trying to peel the onion back and get back to the core of all the issues that may have brought them to this stressful point. We get to talk about some of the things that made those limiting beliefs in their head and things like that, but we're not getting to, maybe childhood traumas or things like that that you do sometimes in therapy. And then also with coaching, I don't have to deal with insurance companies telling me
Oh,
how many sessions I have with a client, how many, all those things that insurance companies like to do. And so I really enjoy coaching.
I can see where that would make a difference for sure.
Yeah.
What made you decide that you wanted to work with women as an empowerment coach instead of, I don't know, just doing therapy sessions in general?
Good question. So, about a year after my husband passed away, I decided it was time for me to look at increasing the income that our house was having. But I wanted to kind of do it more on my time and not necessarily someone say, I need you here every other Saturday or whatever. Because I've worked in ERs before as part-time jobs on additional to my full-time job. And I always had to, yeah, like someone always said. So I did some telehealth through a platform that allowed me to say when I would see individual clients through telehealth. And every woman that was coming to me on the telehealth platform were stressed, burnout, overwhelmed women, some starting businesses, some working in corporate America, some, working from home, stay-at-home moms. And I decided that along with the change of career choices at, my midlife here, I guess midlife, I decided that I would also, because I'd always been working with kids. I'd worked with kids for 20 years. Typically, and when I worked in ERs and things like that, I had all ages. But I was really enjoying the women, working with women. And so that's why, and I could relate to them because that's where I was. I was at one point a stressed working mom that was going in every direction. I was irritable when I got home from work, and I was not necessarily expressing myself appropriately, or I was not managing myself well. And so I would argue more often. And I decided, 15 years ago to make those changes. And so then I decided that's what I wanted to help women do, is transform from being this stressed, irritable, working mom or just woman herself to this woman that could kind of thrive personally and professionally.
Well, I think it's a great idea, and I'm glad that you decided to do that because we all certainly need somebody to bounce, ideas off of and our feelings off of, and trying to capture our feelings and figure out why do we feel this way. Um, one quick question I have, and then I think we'll go. And that is, what do you tell women to do when they have somebody negative that's really a negative person in their life, not necessarily a spouse or, somebody that they live with, but like a friend or a coworker, and they just like naysay everything that you're trying to do. And so you hear that a lot because you might be, especially at work, you're with them 8 hours a day. You're with your family 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep.
Right.
So
Right.
hear all the negativity all day long. How do you, what's like one tip you could give us, or maybe two, that would help us as women entrepreneurs to close that negativity and open up something positive?
Well, one is boundaries, is just knowing, who are the people that you consider your tribe, your people. And it's okay to, yes, if you're working with them, sometimes it's like you can't maybe necessarily walk away per se. But you can kind of try to tune them out. And then also reminding yourself, like, is what they're saying true? Is there any proof that what they're saying is really about me? And recognizing what your beliefs are. And so when you hear it, you ask yourself, is that true? And you're like, no, that's not true. This is what I truly am. And you repeat something more positive, and just changing that mindset, having that mindset of like, I'm doing great things, and I might not be doing it great right now, but I'm learning and I'm going to do great.
I like that. I like that idea. Replace the negative with something positive. I have magnets on the little tiny cabinet that I have at work. I have two little bitty tiny cabinets in my cubicle, and they're, uplifting comments on those. And then I have one that's right beside my faucet in my bathroom, so I see it every single morning when I'm washing my face, brushing my teeth. And I have this huge mirror in my bathroom. I'm like, I'm going to start putting stuff on the mirror, just because it's in my face. I'm going to see it every single day.
And that is actually one thing that I tell my clients to do, is put Post-it notes, put them in places that you will see every day. Coffee pot, your medication, your toothbrush, your dashboard in your car, if you can find somewhere to stick it that doesn't interfere with other things, and then when you see it, you repeat it, because the more we think about something, it becomes our reality. So the more we say the positive things in our head, we start to replace that negative playlist that we have recorded.
That's a good idea. I like that. We need to definitely replace the negativity. Now that the election is over, we don't have to hear about that anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm glad that's over. So,
yes, me too.
Now we can just focus on the holidays. There's
Right.
always something else to focus on, right? So,
Right.
We can get through the holidays and, try not to be rushed and have to feel like we have to go to every holiday party that we're invited to, or make a batch of cookie for everybody's whatever, soccer and basketball and the school program. And, we don't have to do everything.
No, the word no is okay to use, and it's okay not to feel guilty about it, because those kind of boundaries is self-care. And when we are stressed, using self-care daily, instead of looking at future things of like, oh, I'm gonna go get my hair done, but your hair appointment's not for another 2 weeks, that's great, but that's not helping you in this moment. So having those kind of boundaries is self-care. So saying no and not feeling guilty about it is okay.
Good. I like that. I'm writing that down. No is okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on tonight. I really appreciate it. So remind us the name of your company so people can find you. And if you have anything special you want to share, just let us know that too.
Sure. Stacey Johnson Coaching, and the 90-day coaching program is Thrive Beyond Anxiety. I'm on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, at Stacey Johnson Coaching. So I can be found at any of those. And any working woman feeling stressed and burnout is welcome to join my free Facebook group because I offer weekly tips and trainings that women are, and everything is on a replay. So even if someone couldn't attend the live training, the replay is always available.
So what is is that a separate group than the name of your company, or is that your personal page?
Yes.
Where's that at?
Yes, the Facebook group is 40 plus women conquer anxiety, overthinking, headaches, and sleep deprivation. Actually,
Okay.
it's 40 plus women. 40 plus women conquer anxiety, headaches, or anxiety, overthinking, headaches, and sleep deprivation.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. The link is actually facebook.com/groups/Stacey Johnson coaching.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering. Okay. All righty.
I can send you the link as well.
Yeah, please do, because I would like to share that with our listeners. I think they would enjoy that.
Yeah.
What days do you do your free on your live coaching on that program?
Live trainings are on Wednesdays
Okay.
around 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for being on. I really appreciate it. And I'll send out your links to everybody when we get them set up from you and get this posted, and have a great evening. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.